Hello Astrofam, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rux, I'm a Western tropical astrologer, and today we are going to be talking about the full moon in Cancer, happening on the 6th of January at 16 degrees 21 minutes of Cancer. So if you have in your natal chart personal planets or angles around 16 degrees of cardinal signs, you folks are likely to feel this full moon the most. The full moon is happening at 11:07 p.m. GMT time, so you can adjust that for your own time zone. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful full moon. Why? Because it forms a harmonious aspect with Uranus, planet of surprises. But before we go into dissecting the full moon and the update for each of the 12 zodiac signs, I have a few things that I would like to share with you. First and foremost, if you want to work with me, I am a full-time consulting astrologer. For those of you who are new to my channel, for those who are here for the very first time, I work with clients on a day-to-day basis in a one-to-one setup. So if you would like to work with me, you can purchase a personal consultation from my website, which is writteninthestars-astrology.com. That is writteninthestars-astrology.com. If you are a first-time client, you can go straight for the 1-hour live Zoom consultation option. If you are an existing client, you can also choose from the year ahead forecast, which has a preferential rate for existing clients, and also the 30 minutes follow-up consultation. If you're a first-time client, what can we do in the 1-hour live Zoom consultation? Well, we can analyze your natal chart if you have not had an astrologer interpret your natal chart up until this point. We can also look into the year ahead or into specific areas of interest, such as your career, your relationship sector. We can also dive into compatibility or astrocartography. The 1-hour live Zoom consultation is completely customizable to your needs. writteninthestars-astrology.com. Now let's go back to the full moon in Cancer. So folks, as I said, this is happening on the 6th of January, 2023. How is it 2023 already? But we are likely to feel its effects. We are likely to feel the energy of the full moon. Also, 3 days before the 6th of January and 3 days after. So do pay attention to the days before and the days after as well. Now, as I have previously mentioned, this full moon is very nicely aspected to Uranus, planet of revolution, innovation, surprises. Why do I like this full moon? Well, because I see it as a time, a culminating moment, a peak, when we are likely to find brilliant, innovative solutions to old problems. Now, why to old problems? Because Mercury is retrograde at the time of this full moon, and it is conjunct the sun. So Mercury retrograde is really plugging into the energy of this full moon. By the way, my apologies if I've said something wrong or anything like that, because I am filming this during Mercury retrograde. So if I, for whatever reason, said new moon at any point, please forgive me. I apologize in advance. So I see this full moon as a time when we are likely to figure out some sort of brilliant, sudden, unexpected solutions to issues maybe that we have dealt with for quite some time. They are likely to be issues, which we're solving, by the way, around our home life, our family life, security, stability, what brings us security and stability, and also issues concerned in some shape or form with our goals, our objectives, and maybe also our position within society, our status, and our reputation. This is also a full moon during which we are likely to feel like our needs are being unexpectedly and beautifully met in ways that only the universal intelligence, God, source, the divine, could conjure up. So it is a time filled with surprises, but it's happy surprises. It's auspicious surprises. It's breakthroughs. It's aha moments. It's epiphanies. Now, these aha moments could come in the form of someone bringing a solution into our life, in the form of us having that ta-da moment, that eureka moment. There could also be all sorts of unexpected circumstances that contribute to this feeling of a breakthrough. But we are likely, ultimately, to feel very much relieved and liberated as a result of what's happening at the time of this full moon. So I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but I really, really, really like this this full moon. There's also likely to be in the news maybe sudden unexpected breakthroughs and great solutions that are found around the topic of maybe housing, real estate, something connected with the real estate market. The real estate market is likely to be very much in the spotlight at the time of this full moon. Also, maybe some innovations and some scientific breakthroughs around food and nutrition, because let's not forget that Cancer is also concerned with that. I would also strongly recommend looking back at what was going on in your life at the end of June 2022. So around the 20th of June, maybe a few days before, a few days after, 20th of June 2022, when we experienced a new moon in Cancer. So the new moon is the symbolic beginning. The full moon is the culmination. It is the peak. It is the time to reap the rewards. I'm going to say that again. The time to reap the rewards of the seeds that we have symbolically sown. Told you, I'm filming this with Mercury retrograde. So if I sometimes say stuff and I need to repeat it because it did not make sense, bear with me. Let's dig into the updates for each of the 12 zodiac signs, because I know most of you are here for this. Before we dive in, let me remind you, like a good internet mom that I am, to listen to the update for your rising sign. These horoscopes, the general horoscopes that I create, are written specifically for the rising sign. Now, if you don't know your rising sign, you can listen to the update for your sun sign. It's still valid, but maybe to a lesser degree. Why? Because listening to the update for your rising sign is the closest thing that you can get that resembles a personal astrological consultation. My dear Aries, Aries suns and Aries risings. 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, you are experiencing a full moon activating your 4th house of home, family, and living situation. A happy surprise at home, my dear Aries. A very, very happy surprise. Maybe all of a sudden you find, I don't know, the right property to move into. If you've been looking for homes, if you've been looking for a new place to live in, you are likely to feel like the universe is sending something in your lap and saying, come on, go ahead and do it. This is it. This is the solution that you've been waiting for. Some of you may experience a culminating moment in regards to family members. So maybe a family member is born or something along those lines. Maybe some of you are wrapping up possibly the renovation of a home. It feels like you are also finding around this time, maybe quite unexpectedly, the money, the financial resources to materialize, to bring something to fruition at home that maybe you did not have the money to use for before this full moon. I would also recommend Aries looking back at what was going on in your life around the 20th of June in 2022. Pay attention or maybe have a think about what was happening at home in your family life, in the area of living situation, because this full moon is likely to bring things to an unexpected but brilliant peak, I would say. Also, this could be a time when a family member has like super good news for you out of nowhere. They could also say, you know, that money that you gave to me a while back, here it is. you can have it. You can have it back. I'm doing so much better, better now. You might also have something to announce to the outside world that you've been working on behind the scenes in your private life, Aries, and you seem to be super proud and your self-esteem seems to be going through the roof. I like it. If you are a Taurus sun or a Taurus rising, this full moon is activating on the 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after. It is activating your axis of learning. My dear Taurians, I gotta say, you seem to really score a win, a victory when it comes to exams, when it comes to stuff that you had to write, maybe homeworks, paperwork, when it comes to making a sale or a purchase. I like the fact that you seem to be going through an epiphany. You all of a sudden at the time of this full moon have the idea of, I don't know, maybe the topic that you want to address in your book, or all of a sudden you have that light bulb moment and you say, okay, this is the solution to the thing that I've been dealing with that I could not wrap my head around in terms of my education. Very good news, maybe unexpectedly so connected with your education. You could also decide around this time to pursue a certain path from an educational perspective. This could be a time when some of you feel like they are kind of like bumping into something golden in terms of ideas for how to move forward with your life. It could also be a time when you persuade people very easily at the time of this full moon, my dear Taurians. So if you've been meaning to market your services and offerings, especially old ones, not necessarily new ones, this is the time to do so, because it feels like maybe someone that was not on board in the past, or clients that were not necessarily on board in the past, now they're kind of like turning around and saying, I think you're onto something. I would like to hear more of what you have to say. So I love this for you Taurians. Geminis, Gemini suns, and Gemini risings. This full moon on the 6th of January is activating your financial axis, and I think you're going to be very happy with the full moon because it is harmoniously aspecting Uranus in your 12th house. Geminis, I think this is an unexpected payday for you. So out of the blue, out of nowhere, without you being prepared for it, it may feel like a source of income lands in your lap. It may feel like this is a massive, surprising, out of nowhere payday for you, my dear Geminis. You could receive some good news that you weren't really expecting connected with your investments. This could also be a time when you feel like you've got the money and the resources to clear up some old debt, some significant debt, and that's because of some very random turn of events that seems to work in your favor. It's almost like the universe somehow aligns itself for you to be able to pay stuff off without you being prepared for it yet. So regardless of whether you give money or you receive money, you seem to be very happy and you seem to be thanking your lucky stars. It's like, yes, I did not expect to be in such a good position, but here I am. Cancerians, my Cancerian brothers and sisters. I'm a Cancer rising, by the way, for those of you who are here for the very first time. 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, there's a full moon activating our identity and relationship axis. Oh, I love this full moon, Cancerians, because it feels like you are materializing, you're bringing to fruition some sort of exciting partnership. Maybe something that you've been meaning to materialize for quite some time, but it didn't happen. Now it's happening. Someone from the past, maybe that you collaborated with, is coming back and saying, let's do this big thing together, this like super exciting thing together. It also feels like this is a time when you have something very important to share with the outside world when it comes to your relationship sector. Maybe some Cancerians, Cancer risings might announce that they got engaged, or that they're planning to get married, or that they're planning to move to a new country for their partner or together with their partner. It just feels like you have some really surprising but overall auspicious news to share with your tribe, to share with the outside world. This could also be a time, especially if you're single Cancerians, when you could connect with someone that maybe you've known them from the past, maybe you've been hanging out, maybe you've been friends, and all of a sudden you realize, oh wow, I think I have feelings for this person, or I think they like me, not just like a friend, but they actually really, really like me. So it could be an aha moment relationship-wise. I dare say an aha moment that could really lead to something exciting for the future, my lovely Cancerians. This could also be a time when a business partnership is agreed upon. Maybe something that you had lost hope for or about. Someone from the past comes back into your life and says, you know that thing that you proposed to me, I don't know, like some time ago, let's do it. And you're like, yes, woohoo, change of plans, but I'm excited about how my plans are changing. My dear Leos, Leo suns and Leo risings, this full moon in Cancer activates your 12th house, 6th house axis, the axis of service and health. And it is harmoniously aspecting Uranus and Taurus in your 10th house of career. I feel like some Leos are going to quit their job around this time because they have a much, much, much better and more exciting offer. It's very, very possible. So you might announce this to the outside world. You could also take like a private decision to quit your job because there's something like really exciting that you want to get off the ground professionally, maybe on your own. This could also be a time when you hear back from an old employer, an old colleague about like a super exciting opportunity professionally that is taking your career in a surprising new direction. And part of you is like super excited. Part of you is like, oh, wow, this is very, very different. This could also be a time when it feels like you are wrapping up a very challenging and stressful chapter work-wise, possibly also health-wise. And maybe you are wrapping it up earlier and sooner than you expected it to be wrapped up. If your parents, especially your mother, has been going through a tough time health-wise, this could also be a time of relief, a time when things, surprisingly so maybe, take a turn for the better before you were expecting it to kind of like get better. So I like it. I like it. I like it. My dear Virgos, Virgo suns and Virgo risings, this full moon in Cancer, 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, brings to a peak maybe something that you started together with a group of people, kind of like a group project, a group collaboration with a circle of friends maybe. So this full moon seems to bring to a peak something that was started around the end of June 2022. So look back at what was going on in terms of collaborations with others, in terms of friendship. Look back at what was going on in your life around the 28th of June, 3 days before, 3 days after of 2022, because this full moon is saying, here it is, here's the result. So you could be finalizing very successfully, if I may say so, a group project, a creative project around this time with a team, with your peers. This could also be a time when it's definitely a very social time, my dear Virgos. A time to go out, to celebrate, to maybe have more fun than you thought you would have. Again, with your friends, to make friends, to feel like you really belong to your tribe. There could also be kind of like an impromptu trip that you take around this time with your friends. If you are traveling with friends to places that you've been to in the past, because let's not forget Mercury is retrograde, you might actually make some new friends, or you might actually connect on a deeper level in ways that feel super exciting and very nourishing emotionally. You might connect on a deeper level with your existing friends. So like a trip filled with surprises for those of you who are traveling with friends or traveling to see friends as well. This could also be a time when it feels, Virgos, like you have completed a long-term goal, a long-term objective, and you've got every single reason to be proud of yourselves, Virgos. Even if there is kind of like a feeling, a sense of chance and fate playing a significant part in you achieving this goal. So that does not diminish your merits, I would say. On the contrary, I would take it as kind of like a pat on the back from the universe. If you're a Libra sun or a Libra rising, 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, my dear Libras, you're experiencing a full moon in your 10th house of career. This is in a very nice aspect to Uranus in your 8th house of other people's resources. So some Libras are likely to get promoted around this time. Other Libras are likely to get a job offer, an exciting job offer. Maybe something that takes your career to the next level. Maybe something that you've been waiting on for a very long time, but now it is finally happening. This could also be a time when some Libras, especially Libra risings, experience a change in their status. So sometimes we see the 10th house being emphasized when, for instance, a child is born, or when someone goes from being single to being in a relationship, or from being in a relationship to being married. So there could be kind of like a significant change in status, and maybe someone takes you by surprise with kind of like a surprise proposal of some sorts. And this could also be a time when you are very much in the spotlight, Libras, professionally, and it feels like you are doing much better than you thought you would do. So in a career environment, you are being very persuasive. People are on your side. You're impressing people with power, with authority. It could also be a time when you hear news of an unexpected bonus, my dear Libras. So I do believe you've got every single reason to be excited about this full moon. One more thing, Libras. This could also be a time when there's news of having to travel for work or for your career, and maybe also of having to possibly relocate for your career, but not necessarily to a place that you've never been to before, maybe a place like a city or a country that you have lived in the past, dear Libras. Now, if you are a Scorpio sun or a Scorpio rising, my lovely Scorpios, this full moon is activating your axis of traveling, 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, and the axis of learning, as I like to call it. So this could be a time when you travel, maybe to places that you have been to in the past. If you do travel, you are likely to be very pleasantly surprised by a partner, especially if you travel with your partner. I would not put it past your partner to maybe propose to you around this time. If you're single, I would keep my options open, because there is a very high chance, even though you're not necessarily traveling to connect with someone romantically, there is a very high chance that you may meet someone that is kind of like just perfect. There's also a very high chance that you will hear some really positive news, but without you necessarily expecting it at this time, connected with your academic success and status. So maybe your professor reaches out and says, congratulations, we are going to publish the thesis that you've been working on because it's genius. This could also be a time when you hear some really good news about being accepted to a higher education program, maybe being accepted for a master's degree or something along those lines. If you've been waiting for news connected with your visas, residency in a different country, foreign passports, something connected with traveling and foreign affairs, there's a very high chance that someone is coming into your life around this time, maybe an advisor or a partner or a friend, and really kind of like speeds up the process and helps you accomplish something that maybe on your own would have taken a lot longer to accomplish. So someone comes in and helps you achieve a goal really quickly and very successfully, connected with one of these areas, be it visa, residency, maybe also something of a legal nature. You could get like a very unexpected victory. You could obtain a very unexpected victory illegally around this time, my dear Scorpios, especially Scorpio risings. Sagittarius suns and Sagittarius risings. 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after, you are experiencing a full moon in your 8th house of other people's money and other people's resources, in a nice aspect to Uranus and Taurus in your 6th house of day-to-day work. I see this time, Sagittarius, as a time when you may establish a very significant partnership work-wise that will allow both parties or all parties involved to increase their income significantly. This could be a time when you set up a source of passive income, Sagittarius. This could be a time when you make a significant pot of money a big chunk of money as a result of playing the role of the middle person, of the middle man or the middle woman, the middle individual in some shape or form. This could also be a time when you hear good news connected with one of your investments, if you do have investments, and maybe you had lost all faith and hope, and that's why the surprise is so much sweeter, I would say. It could also be a time when you feel like you have overcome, you've got a breakthrough, you have overcome some sort of crisis at work or some sort of financial crisis. If you're making a significant payment around this time connected with your health, my dear Sagittarius, you are likely to feel very happy with the results of the health-related intervention. So it's like, okay, it was worth spending the money on this. I would also look back at what was going on in the area of investments, debts, money towards others that you owed others, maybe around the end of June of 2022, because this full moon seems to bring things to a completion, to a culmination. So you could be paying off debt, maybe without you having necessarily expected to pay it off in full at this time. This could also be a time of positive news, Sagittarius, for your partner financially, especially if you are in a relationship. If you are a Capricorn sun or a Capricorn rising, my dear Capricorns, the full moon on the 6th of January in Cancer is activating your 7th house of relationships. And it's very nicely aspected to Uranus and Taurus in your 5th house of enjoyment, love, romance, and children. Capricorns, especially Capricorn risings, you are in love, or you are likely to be very much in love around this time. I don't know why I'm singing to you, Capricorn. I can literally imagine a Capricorn across the screen looking at this and raising their eyebrow and saying, "What is wrong with you, woman?" But I feel like this is a time for me to be corny, because you seem to be in love, you seem to be smitten, you seem to fall into a romantic situation, maybe with someone that you've already known for some time, and it's all very kind of like exciting and electrifying and sudden, and you're like exuberant in your life. This is also possibly a time when you might propose to someone. For those of you who have been in a relationship for quite some time, you might also hear news from your partner that they are pregnant. Especially Capricorn risings. It could also be a time of excitement and of feeling complete and fulfilled somehow together with a partner as a result of what is happening in the life of your children, if you have children already. So kind of like a really like unexpected success connected with children that makes you feel like you are with the right person, that really makes you appreciate your partner. It could also be a time when Capricorns, especially those who are involved in the creative industry, find like a really good agent or like a really good partner who can put them forward, who can really put them in front of the right people creatively, I would say. So I really like this this full moon for you, Capricorns. Aquarius suns and Aquarius risings. 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after. You are completing something at work. The full moon is happening in your 6th house of day-to-day work. You're completing something at work very successfully, I might add. You seem to have been working on something maybe at home, from the privacy of your home, because the full moon is nicely aspecting Uranus in your 4th house of home. There's also a possibility that you might get offered a job, Aquarius, that requires you to spend some time away from home, or that allows you to create a better kind of like work-life balance, I would say. You seem to be really okay, I dare say quite excited about whatever is happening in a work environment and how that is impacting your home and family life. Some Aquarians might also they might finalize work that was being done at home, maybe the renovation of a property. That's very possible. Good news around this time, health-wise, either for you or for a parent or for both. Very likely. It feels like you have completed successfully, maybe something that you've been working on health-wise since the end of June of last year of 2022, my dear Aquarians. Some of you might also hear news of a colleague leaving around this time, but I don't believe that this is going to have a negative impact on your day-to-day work. On the absolute contrary, it might open up some new exciting opportunities for you. Pisces suns and Pisces risings. 6th of January, 3 days before, 3 days after. What is this full moon likely to bring into your life? Well, especially for Pisces risings, I gotta say, I see the possibility of pregnancy. Very possibly, especially if you're trying. Really good news, even if it's not pregnancy, maybe unexpectedly so, connected with children. If you have children already, maybe there's kind of like an aha moment connected with the area of children. You could also kind of like connect with someone very important, very significant through your kid, through your child in some shape or form. Your kid might have an educational success. They might surprise you with something that they have learned and you're very, very proud. You're having like a proud parent moment. I'm loving this. Overall, this is a very fun time for Pisces risings. I recommend that you go out, that you have fun, that you socialize. You may actually be very inspired by the people that you connect with in a social environment. You may be inspired creatively to work on something, or you may kind of like receive that like brilliant idea from a complete stranger that you I don't know, like talk to at the bar. There is a very, very high chance around this time that you may have fun with people that have already been in your life for quite some time. So friends, for instance, if you're going out, which I strongly recommend, did I tell you that I recommend going out and having fun, Pisces risings? If you're going out, I dare say that you can bump into people that you haven't seen for a while, but the bond is there, and it feels like it's stronger than ever somehow. Very possible, very, very likely around this time, Pisces, especially if you're single, to have some sort of romantic fling. Now, I'm not saying that a fling cannot turn into something serious, because it very well can. But let's put it this way. You are having some really like steamy and vibrant and exciting conversations with someone that you are attracted to romantically around this time, my dear Pisces. Go out, have fun, go on a date. This could also be a time, by the way, when you have that epiphany regarding a creative project. So all of a sudden it's like, yes, I know how to do this. I know how to go about this. I know what the right course of action is in relationship to this creative project. Such a beautiful full moon, folks. That is the update for each of the 12 zodiac signs. Please let us know in the comments how this full moon goes for you. And don't forget, if you want to work with me, you can find me on my website, which is writteninthestars-astrology.com. I'm also active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @ruxunbelievable. And I only have one Instagram account, and I will never, ever, ever, ever send you a message asking you to like buy a rating from me or anything like that. If you do receive a message of this kind, know that it is a scammer. Block and report them, please. Enjoy this full moon, folks. Bye.